Hi, my name is Brianna Kelly, and I'm here with Mrs. Ugan talking about a roommate choosing process. Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
So, what is the process of picking a good roommate?
Well, this is my favorite time of the year where all the seniors have applied and done financial aid, and now they are coming to me and getting their acceptance letters, and they're just ready to, get that financial aid packet, and they are ready to commit the money, because I don't believe that you're allowed to get information on picking a roommate until you commit to a college by putting in the enrollment fee, and usually that's May the 1st. So the process of picking a roommate is a lot more advanced than it used to be 20 years ago. And colleges actually care more about your desire to be happy so that you don't drop out of their school. So they're actually putting a lot more effort into helping you choose a roommate. So the old way was like a paper questionnaire where they would ask you simple stuff like, do you smoke? Are you clean? I mean, it's much more advanced now. And nowadays, social network media has really changed how students are picking a roommate.
Cool. So, what is the best way to pick a roommate?
Well, there's a lot of different ways. Once you commit to a school, each school has sort of their random process. Each school, I know 2 schools off the top of my head, like Princeton, Stanford, they won't allow you to pick your roommate ahead of time. They truly believe in that, meeting that person for the first time and being open. Now, that's an exception to the rule. The majority of schools like Temple and the ones that you're used to hearing will have a Facebook page set up, or they will just have, postings where people post, and they will find their roommates that way by befriending them ahead of time, maybe meeting them, or just starting to chat with them. So a lot of kids are figuring out who their roommates are even before they do all the questionnaires that the schools try to match you with randomly.
Of course. So, what are some of the most important ways to pick a potential roomie?
One of the most important thing in picking a roommate is not on the basis of friendliness, okay? You can be friendly with someone, that doesn't mean I can live with you. The traditional dorm cell, as I call it, is very small, especially if you're used to your own bathroom or your own. It's a great adventure, but it's very small, and sometimes you really do feel like you're on top of each other. So it's one thing to say, oh, I'm friends with him, he's friendly, he's nice, he cracks a lot of jokes, but in reality, the best way to pick a roommate is on the day-to-day living compatibility with that person.
Of course. So, can you have more than one roommate? And if so, how would you go about picking more than one?
Absolutely. So colleges are a lot more advanced these days. They have built new suites out there. It is going to cost a little bit more, and they have the traditional dorm. So there are great options out there. They have a freshman dorm, they have a 2-person dorm, they have a 4-person suite, sometimes a 6-person suite. There's like 2 bathrooms they share, a mini kitchen. So I think one of the most important things you should decide is, do I want a traditional dorm with just 2 people, or would I rather share it with 4 people, getting to know more people, having to deal with more personalities? So that's probably the very first question you should ask yourself. Traditional dorm, suite style, 2-person, or 4 or 6.
Okay, and is it a good idea to room with your best friend?
In theory, you'd think it's the best idea to room with your best friend. It's a scary new world. What if you're living 3,000 miles away, and if you have somebody with you, it's a comfort level. I actually think maybe it's not the best idea to room with your best friend. Room with a friend, maybe room with someone that you do know from high school if possible, but I think if you room with your best friend, you might just be stuck in that little circle. Having your best friend in another dorm gets you out there, gets you to mingle, you meet new people, and still have a friend and expands your just ability to get out, because the purpose of freshman year is to get out and join clubs, and because you really don't want to be stuck in your dorm room. It's a tiny little nothing. So get out, join clubs, make yourself available, go to the library, just explore all parts of the campus.
So I know parents usually fill out the questionnaire sometimes for their kids. Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
That's the most horrible idea ever. We hear about helicopter parents that says, well, I gave birth to you and I helped you apply to colleges. And I know parents who have applied for their kid. So they're thinking, what's the big deal if I pick a roommate? That's absolutely the worst thing that they can actually do, because you are your own person, your parent is your own person, and you should be truthful. I know kids would joke with me, but I'm just going to lie and just, see what kind of person I get. Please be truthful. I have to believe that people need to be truthful so they can set themselves up for success. And if it doesn't work out, yes, there's RAs that can help you, and you could change roommates, but why even put yourself in that situation of being dishonest to begin with?
So how can it affect your college experience having a good or bad roommate?
I think that choosing a roommate is another factor, just like choosing the right major, choosing classes in the AM if you're an AM person, or in the PM, things like that. All of that, you have control over pretty much a large percentage of your happiness. So choosing the right roommate can definitely have effect on your GPA, your general happiness, your stress level, because one of the biggest reasons, or one of the biggest stressors, I would say, for a freshman is having the wrong roommate. So questions they should ask.
So how much does Facebook have to do with this, and is it a good idea to use it?
Facebook, even if I tell you not to use it, you're going to use it. So yes, I think Facebook is a great, the concept of Facebook is wonderful if you use it for what it's meant to be used for. But if you go on and you rant, you rave, you lie, you post pictures that are inappropriate, and you don't present yourself in the best way, well, then you're not going to get the best roommate either. So definitely some of the things that I think that when you're looking for a roommate, some of the questions you should ask shouldn't be, hey, how many parties do you want to go in a week? It definitely should be, what are your study habits? Do you like to study in the quiet? I like to study in the quiet. I cannot have music loud blaring. I know other people can do it. I can't do it. Are you a night owl? Are you the person that goes to bed at 4 in the morning and therefore can't have, visitors or noise in the morning? Or are you a person that gets up at 5, gets to your classes, and then comes home and then relaxes? Those are two of the most important questions. Sleeping habits, visitors. Are you okay with opening your doors to everybody? Or, are you like, no, let's have a no visitors during the weekday sort of a policy? Because the room is so small enough as it is. Yeah. If you don't agree on something, that is so basic, just like sleeping habits, visitors, and things of that nature, that's going to be a problem. Maybe make a contract with the person. Anytime you enter into a contract, it's a good faith agreement, and if you both can be civil to each other and figure it out, it's going to be civil. Try to remember that your roommate's not your best friend. And if it ends up being your best friend, that would be wonderful. But your roommate is someone that you're meeting, you have common interests, you clearly like the school, you might end up being this person's roommate for 4 years, or it just might be a civil union, which is perfectly fine as well.
Of course. So what should you not do when looking for a roommate?
Lie, lie, and lie. And definitely maybe not put a list that's too demanding. You know what I mean? It's just like dating. If you have a list that has 100 demands on there, like I demand my roommate to be clean, and I don't want to see a crumb on the ground, and I better choose your battles, basically. Yeah. Look for the big ticket items, the sleeping arrangement, the eating arrangement, the study arrangement, and I think the rest can work itself out. I have a great example. My brother was at Stanford his last year, and he would complain to me about his roommate because for whatever reason, his roommate started having like religious gatherings in the room. And the room is so small, yeah. And he would bring all these people over, and they would have and there's nothing wrong with that, except he didn't discuss it with my brother ahead of time. This is my brother's study. So literally my brother built a wall in the middle of the dorm because he's very creative and literally he built a wall so he wouldn't have to be. So that was a very sticky, stressful, not happy last year of college for him.
Yeah, of course. So once finding the roommate, what should you do?
Start talking to them, text them, maybe meet them for lunch. I mean, if this person is your roommate for 4 years and might end up being your best friend, go meet them somewhere in the middle. I get that maybe you're 3,000 miles away. Skype them. Not sure if people Skype anymore. FaceTime them. Just get to know them, because how else are you going to know anybody unless you start to talk to them and kind of figure out, are you fake? Are you real? Is this someone I have compatibility senses with?
Of course. So is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, this is a very exciting time. Please take this process seriously. Know that every effort that you make to find the right roommate is ultimately going to be successful, and if it doesn't, there are ways that we can amend that. So enjoy this period of your life and pick the best roommate that you can.
All right, well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm Brianna Kelly here talking with Miss Wigan about finding the best college roomie for you. So now back to the Eagle's Eye.